You're listening to the Ugly Truth Podcast with George and Christina Markoski, your weekly injection of science, insights, and myth-busting. For awesome info and trending content, go to theuglytruth.blog.
Hi, welcome back. Now we're saying welcome back because we know most people have probably come back, but some people may be new, and if you're new, welcome back as in hello, thank you for joining our podcast.
And welcome to the family, the Ugly Truth Tribe.
Thank you, exactly. And this is where we talk about all things ugly. And it's not ugly. Well, the reason we call it the ugly truth is because I'd rather have an ugly truth than a
beautiful lie.
Exactly. So even if it's ugly, but the truth is actually beautiful. And it really is if you look at it the right way.
Absolutely.
And today we're going to talk about
limiting beliefs.
A bit about truth because we're going to talk about limiting beliefs. So basically we spoke about, if you go back to our podcast, we've got an NLP one and it talks about a few things about NLP, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a deep dive in just one little part of it, right?
Okay.
And the reason being is I guess we've interacted with different people that we know recently.
Yeah. Are we going to change their names due to privacy?
Yes, we will.
Yeah, okay.
And we would like to discuss our meetings, and they probably know who you are if you're listening to the podcast, but it doesn't matter because we're not having a go at anyone. All we're doing is using people as real life examples. So we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Much easier that way. I just got back from Brisbane and
welcome back to George.
Got to hang out with Tony Robbins because he was down here in Australia, and the story is when I first found out about Tony Robbins was an interesting cycle. So I read a book called Think and Grow Rich. Right?
He didn't write that.
No, he didn't write that. No, I'm telling the story.
Okay.
I read a book called Think and Grow Rich, and look, it is in my top 10. If you've got a book to read this. Funny thing is, Napoleon Hill wrote this book about how to become rich, but he wasn't rich himself.
Interesting.
But what he did, he went and got lessons from people that were and found out what made it work. And the book is an old book, but it's timeless and really.
Did he eventually become rich through that though?
I think he may have. I'm not sure. I don't want to say anything without this Dr. Google telling me. You know what I mean? But so basically, Think and Grow Rich. So after I read that, I was really hungry for this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Because I was probably about 18, and I just started learning about goals and started learning about self-development. I didn't even realise it existed until now. You know what I mean? The whole self-development movement, which was very exciting to me because I loved it. So, when I first got involved in self-development, it was all about post-it notes on your mirror. And
who told you to do that, the post-it notes on the mirror?
There was a lot of gurus out there, and I learned a lot about goal setting. So what I did is I tried to brainwash myself into believing the right beliefs.
Right, yeah.
And it's an interesting way to go about it. It's not the only way, but it works. You know, daily declarations, that's what they're called. So each day you say the right belief. So instead of saying, oh, I'm really bad at remembering names, you're like, oh, I'm really awesome at remembering names because I enjoy it. And if you can give yourself a new title, a new label, it changes who you are. See, people are sort of stuck to their label, and this is what I want to talk about today.
Okay.
Right? And being stuck to a label is almost like a limiting belief.
Because you're stuck to your identity through that.
You're stuck to identity, that's right. So, for example, and this happens all the time, what we are is, when we're not podcasting for fun, we're actually got a business where it's positive property. We help people invest in property. And I've created this program. I've spent 20 years becoming really good, and I've retired in property, so I know what I'm doing. And the steps are step by step. And basically, if you follow these 12 principles and the 3 core things, it's going to work for our target market.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, though, you have people where they could easily do it, right? There's no question about it. You can look at their numbers, and it's like they could be investing in property, making lots of money without spending 1 cent, actually making a profit.
Yeah.
Because of their situation. But their limiting belief is, I'm not a property investor. Property investing is risky, I'm not going to do it, right? So the limiting belief is holding them back from an amazing world, right? And so I'm going to go back to the book in a second, but remind me, please. But the limiting belief holds you back from an amazing world, because limiting beliefs are what keeps you in your comfort zone.
So is that because they don't identify as a property investor? That's the main thing stopping them from believing that they can be one?
Because, okay, so if you believe you can, right? And if you believe you can't. Now, this is a bit like The Secret. And the thing
within
is,
reason.
No. Well, the first step is creating it in here, in the spirit world, in your mind, right? Now, if you don't do that step, the rest of it, forget it, right?
Yeah.
So The Secret was right about one thing.
Getting your mind game right.
Getting your mind right. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, doesn't matter how good your mind game is, if you don't get off that couch. Because it was said, the title of the book was Think and Grow Rich, not Sit on your couch and grow rich, right? So you really, and even thinking is one step and the most important step. But without the second step.
Step one, get out of bed and think.
The second step is even more important. Action, right? And I want to get away from action today. We're not talking about it, but I'll just quickly say that the action is the most important part, because even if you've got a plan that's not that good, but you have a lot of massive action, you'll get there and you'll learn.
It's like a major ingredient.
Yes, but a lot of people, what they do is they like the plan without the action. An old friend of mine from high school, and this guy was an amazing guy, awesome guy, really smart, and a great designer, and he had a lot of skill, but he loved to procrastinate. So he wanted to go bike riding to lose a bit of weight.
I knew you were going to tell this story. I was going to say, but it's the bike riding guy.
And he wanted to go bike riding, and he was into design, so he loved beautiful things.
Right.
He sort of, in high school, he was a big influence to help me get a bit of style.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't have any ideas.
He
And
gave you some swagger.
Swagger. He was really knew how to dress. He was just impeccable.
Yeah.
So here we were at like 15 years old, and we're like wearing suits.
Pimped out.
Pimped out, right? And I know it sounds a bit oddball, but it was cool. We were really cool. You know what I mean? And he was the one that gave me the idea. I didn't realise. I just thought you just wear whatever, right? And he was like, "Nah, man, you got to look cool. This is not cool. You got to have swagger." So we did a lot of swagger. Actually, he did a lot of swagger. He used to steal all his clothes, but because
that's another story.
he had thousands of dollars worth of clothes.
So he probably wanted to look good when he was bike riding, then I'm guessing.
So anyway, so what he wanted to do is look good. So he bought a bike, and he did all this research and bought all these bike magazines, because back then there was no internet. So he was reading all these magazines, going, "Oh, that's not quite the right bike. I'll buy another one." Then he bought this really cool suit to wear over the Lycra, right, and a really cool helmet. And then he drew designs of bikes, like heaps of them.
He was designing his own bike?
He was just draw. He liked drawing them.
Okay.
Anyway, and before we knew it, he had 4 or 5 bikes.
Wow.
Now, he stole most of them, but it doesn't matter. Right. The thing is, he didn't actually do the bike riding part.
That's crazy.
Because he was getting ready. And
so that wasn't his actual goal. Maybe his actual goal was to just look like a really professional bike rider.
No. Look. It was his limiting belief. You know what I mean? And a lot of people use preparation as a way to get away from facing the reality.
Yeah.
So people go on to start a business. So what they do is they do a business plan, right? And they spend all this time writing a business plan and doing a logo and doing all this sort of stuff. But they never end up starting the business, right?
I know a lot of people who have done that.
Like, who gives a shit about the logo, or who cares about the business plan? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a business plan, but a 50-page business plan is nothing. I've started a lot of businesses, and I was very clear in my mind what I was trying to create. I didn't need to write one thing down at all. You just did it. Because I knew it, and all I knew what to do was I was so passionate. I got up and just did it, right? And a lot of people said it couldn't be done, but I did it anyway because I was so passionate. I was, and I just kept making mistakes and learning from the mistakes, because by actually doing, that's how you're learning.
Well, obviously, how else you're never going to get better at something if you don't actually do it.
I know, because you can think about it like you got 2 songwriters, and you got one songwriter who performs every night and gets feedback, and the other songwriter wants to write the perfect song and spends 10 years in the studio, no audience, no nothing.
Yeah.
And the person doing it is going to be better.
Well, obviously, like the first time I went diving, like I shit myself and I was so scared. But then the second time, it was easier. And each time I go back down, it becomes less scary because I've done it more times. So,
hey, can I say something really funny?
If you want.
I love the way you brought up diving. because when you do something exciting, you can't help but bring it up. And it reminds me of the Big Bang Theory, and Raj goes, not Raj,
goes to space.
That guy goes to space, and every conversation about
conversation
space,
he just weaves it in.
and then you're like,
I've been doing that with diving lately. Yeah,
and you know what? I love it, and there's nothing wrong with it.
But it's
really
just
good.
because I've done it recently. That's why it came to my mind.
So the next few podcasts, you're going to hear about diving quite a bit. I'm very excited because we want to go to Galapagos, and I want to go on one of those dive boats and do lots of diving and cool diving. And I've done quite a bit of diving in the past.
But I haven't.
And Christina hasn't. And
yeah.
I was hoping Christina would have a good experience. So I rang the dive master and said, look, please make sure she has fun and it's easy for her. I'll pay extra if I have to. Just do it, right? Because I knew that if you didn't want to do it, we're not going to be able to do it. I can't drag
and
you along.
I can report back and say that it's awesome. I highly recommend it.
Look, it's getting out of your comfort zone.
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
And
Which
a lot of
I
people,
enjoy.
And see, if you say to yourself and have a limiting belief, I'm not a diver, not that sort of person. Because I sort of did push you pretty hard to get to do it because we had the time frame of the Galapagos and everything else. If it wasn't for all that...
I can't go on that trip if I don't know how to dive.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple.
If I just said, why don't you do a dive course, wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, we had to have like a goal and a reason.
You need a big goal to motivate you. So if you say to yourself, I want to learn diving, the problem is it's not real. And you could always put it off, right?
Yeah, which I had been. Like, it's been on my to-do list for years.
But you had been. And then because we had this date, and I said, this is the date, this is what we're doing, and if we don't get a dive license before then, we're not going to be able to go.
Then we can't go to Galapagos.
And we can't go to Galapagos. So you'll be on the boat and I'll be in the water and you'll be sitting there.
How boring.
Right? So that motivated you to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm not going to miss out on that. Trip of a lifetime.
So if you want to learn something new, get a big goal. Because the bigger the goal, the better. See, people get it wrong, right? People go, let's do a goal that I can achieve. No, that's stupid, right? You need a goal that's really bigger than what you want to give you enough drive to go in and do it.
Have lofty goals.
You know what I mean? If I said, my goal's to go down in Glenelg and go for a dive.
I'd say, how shit.
Exactly, but going to Galapagos is pretty awesome.
Hello.
Especially after watching those Dave Attenborough documentaries. I mean, where Charles Darwin discovered evolution, like, it's going to be amazing.
Pretty amazing. I can't wait.
The guy was a genius, and it's amazing that, every scientist sort of standing on the shoulder of giants because all the scientists before him, they've built the foundation, and it's fantastic. So thinking rich. So that brought me on to another one called Speak and Grow Rich.
Okay.
And he mentioned a bit of NLP in there, right? And then I was in the bookshop hungry to find about this NLP stuff. I'm thinking, wow, that's going to make me a really good salesperson, right? If I learn how this psychology works. And I was reading the back of this book from Tony Robbins, and it talked about neuroassociative conditioning. And I thought, man, I'm getting this book. So I bought the book, and I implemented everything.
You know that Tony Robbins, just quickly, he didn't even complete his NLP course fully?
I don't know.
I read that this morning, actually.
Maybe. Doesn't matter. Because
he didn't fully,
he doesn't have to
get certified or whatever.
Who gives a shit? You know, it's important real life examples, right? Like, for example, in business, I tell everyone I've got an MBA, right? Now, I haven't got a certificate. MBA stands for massive bank account because in business, that's the only thing you need. Now, Tony changed a lot of lives. Millions of lives a year.
Yeah, he just couldn't, apparently, this is what I read this morning, he couldn't wait to get out there and start helping people.
And that's awesome. That's awesome because he had the skill.
Yeah.
And he's got
and
the
apparently that night he helped 2 people quit smoking.
Yeah. So
he left the course and started implementing straight away.
Yeah. When I found out about NLP, I was pumped. So I read all this stuff and Tony Robbins talking about positive anchors and I'm walking down the street going, yes, yes. And then I see this big thing on the billboard, right? And it says Tony Robbins, last time in Sydney. The firework experience. I'm like, wow, walking on fire is going to be so cool. I really need to do that. It's going to help me achieve so much. I was so excited about it, thinking, how cool would that be walking on fire? So we go there and that night he's just talking and really getting people in the right state. Because you've got to get people in the right state. Because you've got to really be mentally strong and follow all the rules. It's all about modelling, right? So what he did, he saw people that were good at walking on fire, worked out exactly what they did well, and emulated it. So you emulate the physics and everything else like that, and how you walk and your state and everything else like that to make it possible. So if you're in the wrong state or you don't do it properly, you're going to burn the shit out of your feet.
Wow.
But if you do it properly And I've done fake firewalks with you, and you know how to do it. 'Cause you've had a lot of practice. When you go, you're going to be awesome. And if you do it, you get across the coals. Now, mentally, it's very difficult because you're looking down at coals, and you've got to put your foot down in that coal, right? So that first step is so hard.
I bet.
Right? And what happens is you've got a statement juice there to pump you up and give you that little push. When I used to do training for Tony Robbins, that's what I did. I used to be a statement juicer.
You used to push people into a pit of hot coals.
Yes, I did, but in a good way, because I just motivate them, go, yes, you can do it now, and just give them a little tap and a little push. That's all they need, because they can't do that first step. So you've got to push them nice and carefully and gently. You don't throw them into the fire. You're really careful.
Just like shoving people into
you make sure they
pit of burning coals.
You make sure they've got the right state. You make sure that everything's correct. You reassure them and then go get them along. And it's very satisfying because they walk across and then the look on your face is, what the fuck? I just walked on fire. And you're like, yes, yay, and celebrating. And it is the most amazing feeling. What a rush. It's addictive. I love it. I've walked on fire quite a bit.
It's not just adrenaline from having your feet burnt.
It's very exciting. So anyway, so that's what happened. So I saved up all the money, did the firewalk and everything else like that. Then a year later, they had a competition, and I ended up getting like 45 people to go to UPW.
Wow.
And the girl that was the sales rep that was looking after me.
So
she
UPW? Unleash the power within?
Yeah. And what happened was I got invited to a personal fireside chat with Tony Robbins. And I'm driving to the hotel, and I'm broke as anything, right? Every cent I had, I spent on going to UPW.
Wow.
Right?
How much is it? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't remember now, because it's probably changed now.
Like $5,000?
$5,000, something like that. Yeah. So anyway, so what I've done is I've driven down there to the hotel. There's no parking in Sydney, and there's valet parking. I'm like, my heart sank. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't afford valet parking. Anyway, so I get out. I go, hey, I'm working with Tony Robbins. Just put on his bill. Right? Can't believe I did that, but I did. Right? And I gave them my keys, and they parked my car for me. So I go in there, right? And there's Tony Robbins, and man, I met Tony Robbins back then, and there was only like 5 of us there with him in one room, and he spent like an hour with us. It was really quality time. It was amazing. I didn't even have a camera. I didn't own a camera.
Wow.
So I didn't even get a photo with the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I know, a bit sad. But
it's not like now where it's on your iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't have photos. But meeting Tony Robbins really gave me a lot of shifts. And after doing UPW and learning NLP, the year after was my most successful year.
Really?
Ever in my life. Right? So successful.
Yeah.
Like my income went up 5 times. Like 5 times.
That's awesome.
And so it was like amazing. And that was all just getting rid of unconscious.
You're selling it to me. I want to do it now.
Okay. And what it is getting rid of limiting beliefs, limiting decisions. And that's what we're talking about today. Because the limiting beliefs and limiting decisions are what hold you back. And when I got rid of those on an unconscious level and consciously, my success in every area of life just skyrocketed.
Yeah,
because I didn't realise I had these unconscious blocks, but your limiting beliefs block you and hold you.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If you get a baby elephant, what they do with a baby elephant, this is really interesting, right? So with a baby elephant, what they do is they put a stake in the ground, the baby elephant's there, and that baby elephant tries to get away, but it can't. So as it gets older, it stops resisting. And now, I don't know if you look at a circus, they've got this massive elephant and a little stake. And the elephant could just easily lift its leg and rip it out. But because it's been conditioned
to believe that it can't.
So it's got a limiting belief that it can't do it. That's all. If you could motivate him, or Tony Robbins could go over to the elephant and go, hey, okay, you can do this, right?
I don't think you
yes,
He's like Dr. Doolittle speaking to animals.
If Anthony Robbins could motivate him and go, yes, you can do it, the elephant would go, fuck this, lift its leg up, done. Is that amazing when you think about it?
Yeah,
so limiting beliefs.
Animal cruelty.
Yes, but limiting beliefs. So because of that, we all have our limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs don't just come consciously, they can come unconsciously.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're a kid and your parents are having a fight over money, you could get a negative association with money. Or if someone says, oh, money's the root of all of evil, then you'll suddenly believe that. And that determines how you act around money.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people are uncomfortable around money. And the reason I'm talking about money, and a lot of people go, oh, why the hell are you talking about money? Because it is a powerful force that people need, and it's there, whether you like it or not. And I really think that money's there to be used. There's nothing wrong with it. But people that are in love with money, that's wrong. That's not normal. They've lost what they're looking for.
They've missed the point. Yeah.
They've missed the point. Money is just an object. It's not to be loved. It's just there to get you what you want to get.
Yeah.
It's
a
not
tool.
there to be hoarded.
Yeah, it's a tool.
There's no point going, oh shit, I just want $1 billion.
$1 billion.
I know, it's crazy. It's like, but does it give you choices and freedom? It's awesome. It's fantastic. But the ends don't justify the means. You need to do the right thing. See, people that think they can take a shortcut and do something wrong and break their moral values to get money, long term, it's not good for you.
Or like a get rich quick.
Yeah, right. It doesn't work.
Overnight.
You follow the principles. If you follow the principles, and the beautiful part is, I really believe that you're going to do anything. You love what you do, right? That is the number one thing. If you don't love it, learn to love it. And if you can't
leave it.
Or leave it. That's the three things. Because I'm very fortunate where most of my life I've done what I've loved. You know, I ran a marketing business, and now I'm doing the podcasting, which we do this for free anyway, but we've just set up a Patreon page, so check it out. Even $1 donations we'll be happy with. And the real estate business, coaching people, I love it. I get paid to do what I love, which is awesome.
Yeah, I really enjoy that too.
I think whoever you are, whatever you're doing, try to think of the long-term goal, doing what you love. And what's going to stop you from doing what you love is limiting beliefs. Right? So when I first started my first business, right?
That must have been very scary.
It was scary, but I was pumped. I was motivated. I've done NLP and everything.
How did you get the knowledge to know what to do, though?
Look,
because we're not taught how to do business at school.
We're not.
Let's face it.
I've been very fortunate, I suppose, and I just get things.
Yeah.
Right. So
being smart helps.
I guess so, or being persistent and finding it out. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was very fortunate. Because
and I guess not being like having the fear of failure.
I didn't have the fear of failure at all. No fear at all. That's the thing. That's the
limiting belief.
See, a lot of people's limiting belief was I can't start a business.
Yeah.
Right. And in some cases, it's true if you're hopeless and you haven't got if you haven't got prepared.
Yeah, it's not the right thing for everyone.
But for most people, it's a limiting belief.
Right.
Right. And you've got to get rid of that limiting belief. When I was doing that, everyone else's limiting belief impacted me.
So how did you get rid of that?
Everyone around me is like, you're starting a business, don't be stupid.
Oh, right. Yeah,
stay in your job. It's safe. You're earning such good money and you've got a company car, you've got a credit card, stay. Right? Everyone's like, don't do it. What are you doing? You're getting really good money, really cushy job. I had a cushy job. I'd rock up whenever I felt like it. I was really good at what I did. I had a company car. I lived pretty good.
So why did you want to start your own business then? Because
I had a passion to be in control of my destiny.
Right.
Right? And even though I was pretty free where I was, I really wanted the passion to... I could see they were doing things wrong. And I was saying, look, this is what you need to do. Because I wanted them to do better. They wouldn't listen to me. Even though I was trying to improve their business for free.
Wow, yeah.
So I said, fuck it.
They had limiting beliefs.
They had limiting beliefs. So I said, stuff it. I'm going to go and reinvent this industry. And make it fun for
But the reason they had I want to dig a little bit deeper into why they had their limiting beliefs. The reason they had their limiting beliefs was because that was their identity. They were identifying what you were saying them. Do you think they almost got offended?
Yes, because they had a winning formula. They didn't see, a lot of businesses back in those days didn't realise that just because you've got a winning formula doesn't mean you can sit on your ass, because you need to keep reinventing.
You've got to constantly evolve.
Yeah, so evolution has been going faster, and now everyone sort of knows that. But back in those days, they didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what would happen in the old days is you have a formula, you go, this is the way we do business, and then that's it. And it just work.
Yeah.
No tinkering, no nothing, right? So they had a massive team doing all this work, and me, I was by myself doing everything. What a group of 30, 40 people were doing.
Wow.
You know, they're a $90 million company, right? Wow. And I'm by myself. I didn't even have a car.
Wow.
Right? Because I had a company car and I still ran this business, catching trains and catching taxis to get business and all that. And the thing is, then it became very competitive and everyone was slashing prices right down. Right? And so you could have the limiting belief.
So only when they got desperate were they willing to sort of change things up?
Yes. So they just started slashing all their prices to try to compete with me and try to run me out of the market.
Right.
And
so you became their direct competitor,
yes,
right?
I did.
Yeah.
So what happened was because they had $90 million budget.
For those of you who don't know, George. Why don't you tell us a little bit of a background about what the business was?
Okay. I used to run a marketing business that ran events for car dealerships. And if they sold 100 cars in a month, we go in there, do the marketing, get them motivated, pumped up, and sell 100 in one day. And all the motivation stuff I learned from all those courses with Tony Robbins and stuff like that. So I thought, why don't we just pump people up in car yards?
Yeah,
Same
awesome.
thing. Get them in a really good state.
Yeah.
Get them excited. Nothing wrong with a good state because you make better decisions when you're in state. See, unless you're in a high state, you can't make a decision anyway. You need to be in a high state to be able to do that anyway. So what happened was our competitors, what they did is they just tried to price us out and they just did it for nothing or at a loss.
Wow.
Just so we'd lose business.
Yeah.
And then I thought of something.
You put your price up.
Yep. I said, look, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give these people the best experience ever. Right? We're going to be the David Jones. We're going to be the BMW.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Right? We're not going to compete down the bottom line. So I just doubled my price.
You're not going to be
overnight.
like the Kmart. You're going to be
exactly.
like David Jones.
And I was getting really good results compared to them. Like the difference was huge.
Yeah.
So I cared what I did.
And you had the budget to be able to provide the quality as well.
Well, yes, because you get paid more, so you can provide the quality.
Exactly.
If you do something for nothing, you're not going to be able to do a good job because you've got no budget.
No.
So anyway, and we took over the market, even though we were much more expensive.
Wow.
Everyone wanted us. People were lining up and waiting. And we'd say, look, you have to wait 3 months. And they'd wait 3 months for us.
Wow, yeah.
And their competitor would say, look, we'll do it anytime you want. But they were too desperate. It didn't work.
Interesting.
And we didn't care because we were just totally booked out. Yeah. And that was all by giving higher quality, doing a better job for them and charging more for it. Because people weren't looking for a cheaper price. They're looking for a better result.
So how would you differentiate, I guess, the way you sort of handled things and did that with the business compared to what they did? What was holding them back with their limiting beliefs and their identity?
Well, okay, their identity. We're a big company.
Yeah.
And we can economically crush a competitor.
So that was their mindset.
Yeah.
So that's why they...
Instead of saying, shit, they're doing things differently, we should see what they're doing and copy it.
And learn, yeah.
And learn, right? Why are they getting such good results? So instead of focusing going, wow, they're getting excellent results, we need to get better results. That's what we need to focus on. Not getting a cheaper price. That's just stupid because you keep going down. So they should have focused on getting better results for their clients instead of giving a cheaper service to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the cheaper the service was, the quality kept going down.
The worse it would be,
So then they'd have to hire people really cheap that are hopeless to go run the show, right? And you got some guy going, oh yeah, this is exciting. And then you got me doing it from the heart, from passion and loving it and having an audience to talk to and get motivated, you know? I got a chance to motivate all the salespeople, I got a chance to motivate all the people coming in, I got to use all the NLP. Loved it. So much fun.
Yeah, awesome.
So I got to experiment a lot with different techniques and stuff like that, and helping people change their limiting beliefs. And so what I do is I put them in a light trance and get rid of their limiting beliefs, and I'd see what happened on the weekend. You know, there'd be a salesperson that hasn't sold one car in a month, and then I just change their mindset, and then suddenly they're doing 10 in 2 days.
Wow.
Right, and they're pumped. But what happens is after I leave, they're still doing heaps because they've got a new set point.
Mindset, yeah.
So the thing is, these events were working really well because they were helping change limiting beliefs for salespeople.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. So it had like that flow-on effect.
So yeah, because salespeople, if they're selling one a month, they're like, oh, I can only do one a month.
Getting depressed.
Right? And they only get that one a month, right?
Yeah.
Then suddenly if they do a weekend, they sold 5 or 6, then suddenly they're a 5 or 6 person. And after they sold their first car, you should see them in the second car. Very different, really quick and easy.
Yeah, I bet.
After they've done their 5th one, they're like talking to people, and the people can see the belief, and they buy straight away. I had one guy sold 22 in 2 days.
Wow.
He was just like lining them up. It was amazing. Because
He must have been flat out.
He was pumped, he was excited.
Yeah.
And they could see that. They could see his confidence, because people don't want to buy from someone unconfident. Why would you want to do that? If you're not sure yourself, you're like, what car should I get? And this salesperson's not confident. Would I want to buy off that guy that's not confident?
No, if they don't even believe in what they're trying to tell you to get.
Exactly,
then
yeah.
how can you believe it?
That's right. But if they've got all this conviction and belief and they're strong, then you're like, oh, thank God I can trust this guy. I can just do it.
Yeah.
And people like that you can trust, because it's the weak salespeople that lie because they don't have enough confidence in their product. And they're really bad for business, you know what I mean? And I've been teaching people over and over, you've got to be genuine.
And you have to be congruent.
And if you don't know the answer to something, don't make it up. Just admit you're wrong, because by being genuine and being real, that's how you build a following.
Yeah.
You don't build a following by lying or cutting corners.
No.
It's just stupid. All you're doing is destroying your business and destroying your reputation. You know, the uncomfortable things is what makes you better and what builds your relationship. So when you've got a relationship with someone, by being honest, you're creating discomfort, right? But also you're creating a bit of conflict, right, and confrontation. But through that uncomfortableness, you're building a true friendship.
And more trust.
And more trust. But if you just pretend everything's really cool all the time and nothing else, and you don't give people real feedback, then you're not really a good friend anyway, are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because good friends care about each other, you help each other.
Yeah, definitely.
The problem is when someone's got a limiting belief, they don't want help. And that's the tough one.
Because a lot of people don't like feedback.
They hate it. I mean, I know this girl, and she will just say anything straight away, right? We'll talk about something, and she'll just say, all of this is like this, right? Just some opinion out of nowhere, right? And it's like, wow. Because when you say all, you're generalising. So, and when people say all about a group of people or a group of anything, it's never true. And that's why racism sucks. You know, people saying all blacks are lazy, you know what I mean? That's very racist, and it's racist because you're grouping everyone together as one race, right? Which is totally unfair, because, but if I challenge that belief, said all, what about Obama? He was not lazy, he worked really hard.
Obviously,
what about Muhammad Ali? Nelson Mandela? And you can just keep
Oprah.
going. Yeah, so we've got a whole list of people. We've
Yeah.
just said, and so we've just smashed their limiting belief by challenging it the right way.
Okay, interesting.
But if I just ignored them and pretended it was okay, guess what? We're not building our respect.
Yeah.
But I'm helping them become better.
Yeah.
By saying, hey, but instead of saying you fucking racist, that's not going to work.
That's not the right way to go about it.
So what you've got to do is ask the question innocently, go, well, are you talking about everyone? What about such and such? And give them a few examples. And then what's happening is you're destroying the limiting belief.
Yeah.
Because beliefs are like, so what a belief is, like a tabletop, right? So you've got this little tabletop here, and underneath the belief is different legs that hold it up. So if I'm saying, oh, all black people are lazy, right? I've got these things and I'm hanging out the same people, echo chamber, and you've got all these legs.
Yeah.
Then I go to that person that racist and go, okay, what about Oprah, right? Guess what? I've just knocked down a whole heap of legs by giving them facts. But if I was arguing with them, I'm going to make the legs stronger because I'm propping them up through fuel.
Right.
By resisting. So resisting is not going to work for limiting beliefs. You need to challenge the belief in a nice way. So, and then I keep knocking those legs out, and before you know it, especially if their limiting beliefs are very flawed, you'll knock it straight to the ground. And it disappears. Gone. Finished. Yeah. And then they change the person, because when you're running that program in your head, it's gone. It's not there anymore. How
what
amazing is
about
that?
people who don't listen to evidence-related arguments?
Yeah, so okay.
Because I know a lot of people that don't listen to
totally.
evidence-based arguments.
Yes.
And it's very frustrating because...
You're going to talk about a religious person?
No.
No?
I'll give you an example.
Look at that guy that we know.
I was going to talk about a different example.
Okay.
I was going to talk about... I caught up with Samantha the other day, and she was telling me that she's had a lot of trouble with her kidneys, and she's cut like salt out of her diet. And I said to her, have you tried taking bicarb soda? Because that really helps like alkalize your body. And then I gave her some examples of how it's helped me personally and stopped a few infections from happening because my kidneys are quite sensitive as well. And then I told her about some studies as well that have been happening. And recently a study came out where they said like if you take half a teaspoon of bicarb soda per day, it like increases your lifespan as well.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's amazing.
So I told her all of this, and the way she looked at me and acted, she's like, "Oh no, I'd never do that." And I said, "Well, why not? It could help you." And the way she acted was like I was telling her to take cyanide. Like,
yeah, look,
it was shocking to me, and I didn't understand why she was acting that way.
And then I was explaining to you that she's got a limiting belief. And what happens is limiting beliefs and people's beliefs, full stop, right? People guard that. Really, they're very precious about it. And if you challenge a limiting belief, guess what's happening? It's their ego that gets in the way.
So she felt like I was insulting her because I was trying to help her.
People feel like they're attacked if you challenge their limiting belief.
How was I to know she had a limiting belief about
you don't know till you say
taking bicarb soda?
You don't know, but there's a pattern there.
Yeah.
So she believes in medicine and nothing
Pharmaceuticals.
Else.
Yeah. Well, she is a nurse, was a nurse, yeah.
So the only thing she believes in pharmaceuticals. So anything that's not a pharmaceutical to her is evil.
Wow, yeah.
But personally...
Mind blown.
Personally, I don't like most pharmaceuticals, but some are really good. You can't say all pharmaceuticals are bad because they're not. And you can't say all things that are.
You can't just like pigeonhole things.
No, you can't, because you've got to evaluate each pharmaceutical for what it is.
So going back to Samantha, so she obviously had that limiting belief.
Yeah.
But can you just deconstruct that a little bit more so I can and the audience can understand
let's deconstruct it. Okay, so
why she was so offended by me giving her advice?
This is Samantha. Samantha believes that pharmaceuticals are the only thing that's going to help you, and it's a doctor.
Right.
And she believes that...
so because I'm not a doctor...
Yes, you're not a doctor, right?
She was acting like, what do you know?
No, so
like you're talking crap.
Her belief is the doctor's got the doctor suit, and the doctor's got authority.
Right.
So when it comes to health, the only people you listen to is doctors. That's the way they've tried to do it. I don't know if you noticed. So doctors are held in very high esteem.
Yeah.
Because really, this is the amazing thing. Most of them are reps for pharmaceutical companies, but they've got this look. They've done this marketing job saying they're awesome. And some doctors are awesome. I'm not saying that. And I've got an amazing doctor. And some doctors are they've got no idea.
But I'm actually yet to meet a doctor that's healthy. I've never met a healthy doctor in my life.
I have.
Well, I haven't. Okay. So I'm only 28.
I've met a few. Actually, there's a doctor who's in America at the moment. He's a really cool guy. And he's ripped. He's like 70 and got a six-pack. And
awesome.
Dr. Wilcourt, he was my doctor here in Adelaide.
See, I need to meet these people.
This guy's amazing. Actually, I'm going to invite him to the podcast.
Yeah, you should.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
Really smart. One of the smartest doctors I've ever met.
I need to meet a healthy doctor sooner or later.
So there you go. So, so limiting beliefs. So she's got these limiting beliefs. And then what happens is you come in and you're pushing on her beliefs, right? You're saying, I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to pretend to be a doctor. In her mind, that's what is happening, right?
Okay,
in her mind, she's probably a very strong level 4.
Yes.
Because level 4s love doctors, right? And have we spoken about the levels or not yet?
I'm not sure.
We're going to have to do a session on the levels. Yeah. But level 4...
So she likes to follow the rules.
It's a values level. We're going to do a whole podcast on it. But the level 4 people love following rules. So they're the sort of people, if they see someone in uniform, they recognise and respect that uniform.
Right.
That's why we
should have worn a white coat.
That's why society created uniforms.
Yeah, okay.
To keep level 4s in line.
Interesting.
So a police officer's got a police uniform.
Yeah.
A fire person's got a fire brigade uniform. The reason they got uniform because in an emergency situation, they need authority. And if they're dressed casually, then you can't identify who they are and they haven't got the status or authority to make you do things.
Yeah.
So it's actually important. So if fireman's fighting a fire, you know that you'll get out of his way when he's fighting fire.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because he's got red on. Because imagine if we were firemen, right? But dressed casual, trying to fight a fire, and other people would get in going,
I think it's actually yellow.
Whatever, but they'll say, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. We're going to show you how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like... And the funny thing, let's talk about fire alarms. This is the amazing thing. So, do you know why fire alarms were invented?
No.
Okay, this is the amazing thing. This is why fire alarms were invented. So, what happened was...
Don't get too excited about it.
Okay, back in the day when there was a fire, right?
Yeah.
People wouldn't be sure it was a fire. So
What do you mean? They thought it was like burning toast or something.
They didn't know what it was, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is when you're in a crowd, you're scared of doing something weird or different, right?
Yeah, you are. That herd mentality.
So they did studies and they had students in this room and they put smoke through the door and people ignore it and just stay there.
Oh my God.
Right? The reason being because they're in a group. When they're on their own, they leave.
Yeah.
Because there's no group pressure to conform.
Right.
So what we do is we go, is anyone else panicking? No. I'm going to be cool.
I would say something. I can't help myself.
Yeah, but usually what we do is we look if everyone else is panicking. If no one else is panicking,
Yeah, wow.
we're okay, not a problem. So anyway, so what happened then is they thought, how do we do this, right? We can shout fire, fire, and blah, blah, blah. So then what we do is we create the fire alarm. Mm-hmm. And then they create the drill. And the drill is, even if there's no fire, you have to leave the building. You know why they do that? Because most times no one's convinced there's a fire.
Wow.
And you can't convince them. Because you can't convince people there's a fire, what you need to do is say, it doesn't matter if there's a fire, you have to walk out the building. So you get rid of that decision, that limiting decision. See, is that amazing?
Yeah, that happened to me once when I was in a hotel for my 21st birthday, actually. The fire alarms went off and the whole building got evacuated. So annoying.
Well, I was in Perth on a business trip and I was staying in the apartment of the rep that was there. And there was no fire alarm in this place. And the whole thing was ablaze and I'm on the 11th floor. And I really feel thirsty and hot for some reason. I'm feeling hot and thirsty.
Yeah.
So I'm in a towering inferno, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm thirsty. So I walk up to the sink. I look out and there's all orange flickering on the window, right? But I don't notice it because I'm half asleep. So I'm drinking water, then I look around again and go, orange flickering. Bit weird. I drink, then suddenly I see smoke coming underneath the door, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, orange flickering, smoke, it's hot. I'm like, shit, I'm actually in a fire. Can't believe this shit. So I put my jeans on, put them on. It was like really quick and go, shit, I've got to get out of here. So I get out and on the way down, I'm knocking on people's doors saying, hey, fire, fire, just to make sure that we don't miss anyone. You know what I mean? I'd hate to miss someone and then burning down. But I didn't want to hang out too long in front of everyone's house and burn myself down.
Yeah.
So I knocked vigorously each door, said fire, make sure you get out now, and just kept going. But I didn't wait around.
Yeah.
Because imagine waiting at every door, I'd be burnt to death.
Yeah, wow. Did everyone get out?
Yes, everyone got out. So I got out.
Phew.
And then it was freezing because all I had was jeans on, barefoot, everything else like that. And barefoot was stupid. I should have put shoes on. Or maybe I did.
Right.
I don't know. You know what I mean? It's hard to think. But anyway, so there you go. So I had my experience of fire. But fire alarms, that's why they're there. The fire alarm's there to stop people getting caught up in wondering if it's a real fire.
Yeah, it's so they don't have to think.
Yeah, and gives you permission in front of your peers to walk out because it's a norm now.
Okay.
Before, leaving a fire is not a norm.
Yeah.
Leaving it when the fire brigade bell goes on is a norm. So they make it normal. So what they do is change people's view of things. Isn't it amazing? And through that, they save lives, a lot of lives.
Yeah, and they put those rules in place.
Yeah, and they're excellent, and that's why they work so well. You know.
Yeah. That sort of opens up another conversation about like the rules of society and... It
does. And when we're talking about limiting beliefs, I suppose it's interesting. I know this guy is quite religious and he's always going, okay, I know where I'm going. I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to go to heaven. I know where I'm going. I'm okay. I'll be fine. And it's like, you look at them and it's sad because they're quite scared, very scared, and trying to convince themselves. I mean, I don't every day go, oh, there's a sun.
There's a sun in the sky.
If you really believe something, you don't need to.
You don't have to convince yourself.
You don't have to convince yourself. And if you're trying to convince yourself, well, then it's not true. But the problem is, the limiting belief is going to hold that person back because their whole identity is stuck on that belief.
Wow, yeah.
So limiting beliefs, limited decisions and beliefs is what surrounds your identity. And so most people hold on to those as tight as they can. And if you try to wedge one of them, they're going to punch you in the face and go, leave me alone, you're attacking me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because they're holding on to it. So it's very rare, but if you can get to question your beliefs, because one thing I know is I know that I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. But I know one thing, I'm less wrong now than what I was yesterday. And the ability to question your beliefs is the most amazing thing, because you've got to let go of your ego, right?
Yeah.
And just question your beliefs. And there's nothing wrong with it. And if you get comfortable questioning your beliefs, that is the best thing you can do, because that's critical thinking. And in this day and age, no one wants you to think anymore. They don't want you thinking. You need to think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, you're taught at school just to memorize, and they just stop you from thinking, right? They really try to get you to level 4 to follow society's rules, to make everything easy, because you get too many people thinking.
Yeah, so like
question.
I think of school as like a training ground for like getting into the work life. So obviously you start at like 8:30, then you at school until 3:30. You got your lunch break,
Yep.
you know, your smoko break, which is your recess or whatever.
Yep.
So it's all just like pre-framing you and training you for when you leave school to do the 9 to 5.
Yep. It
and
really
be happy
changes.
with it.
Yep.
Be happy with the commute there. Be happy with,
Yep.
you know,
and 9 to 5,
all day. You get your little lunch break.
9 to 5, like, I'm sorry, but that just sucks. It's just a stupid way of doing things. We need more flexibility for people. You know what I mean? And, you know, as long as you get your job done, who cares how long you're there for? You know, trading your time for dollars is really a sucker's game, right? And to change that, what you need to do is give more value.
Yeah. Well, I think the internet has revolutionised a lot of that.
It has. But the more value you give, right, the more money you're going to make from giving value. And that's a good trade. You know what I mean? Because you look at Elon Musk, he's impacting a lot of people, right? And he's doing some really cool stuff. He's affecting a lot of people. And because he's giving value to so many people, that's why he's so successful. The old style of entrepreneur, where people, all the rich people, just controlled everything and had factories and didn't give back, that's going now, which is awesome. So we're very fortunate. The new style entrepreneur is the person that can help, affect, or give value to the most people.
Yeah,
is awesome. That's what business is about these days.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? That's the next level, which is beautiful. Because the old style business sucks. They're just there to make profit, and they just want to get as much money as they can off the customer. Where the new style of business is, I just want to give as much value as I can, and that's going to be a fair exchange. And it's much more spiritual doing that. You know what I mean? That's what we do in our business with Positive Property. It's an exchange, because we want to give more value than what we get, because we enjoy what we do. We love helping people. And it's better than seeing people as money, you know what I mean? Which is the wrong way to do it, you know what I mean? People are people. And I'm really glad there's new entrepreneurs like that, which is great. You know, and that was just a limiting belief that people had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's interesting, like how they start training you from a very young age with your habits and your beliefs, and to you can only go to the toilet when the teacher says you can. So
well, put it this way. Elon Musk started SpaceX. What's it called? Is that what it's called?
SpaceX.
Yeah. Okay, Elon Musk started SpaceX, right? Now, who would have thought that a private company could do rockets? Right?
I never thought that.
That would be a limiting belief, but a very hard one to break, because the only people that have got a budget to do space programs are like countries like America,
Russia.
NASA, Russia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A whole country needs to do it. You can't get a business to do it.
Well, it ain't a cheap sport going to space.
No. But if you think about that he had the audacity to challenge the belief that a private person can actually have a space program.
Now that is thinking big.
That is breaking a massive belief, because you start with breaking small beliefs, and as you work your way up, you can break bigger ones. Now,
awesome.
And as you create bigger beliefs, you create more value and create more change in the world, because that's what we're doing, right? Because it's all about breaking our beliefs, because our beliefs are holding all of us back, right?
Yeah, interesting.
You know, believing that we can't feed all the people in the world. It's not real. We can and we should, right? And we go, oh, well, government's to blame. Well, fix the problem, right? Surely as a group of people, we could make sure no one's starving in the world. Right?
Yeah, by now, 2018,
and
hello.
surely we could just make sure that everyone's got rights. Doesn't matter where you are.
whether you're a woman in the third world or
That's right.
whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what colour you are. Doesn't matter what country you're in. Doesn't matter what party's in.
Sex, yeah.
They're going to have a basic level of human rights for everyone, no matter where you are. Simple. Even if you're a dictator, you've got to follow these rules. Otherwise, the UN tells you where to go. But I think we need, to do
We need a system that's not corrupt in order for that to be possible.
We need to get rid of our limiting beliefs. All of us need to. And, what I want everyone to do, I want you to think of something that's holding you back, right? I want you to find something that's holding you back, and I want you to write down what do you want to achieve in life, right? And then what I want you to do is write down, okay, why can't I do it? And write all the reasons.
Go get a pen right now, pen and paper.
And so get your biggest goal that you've got, write it really clear and what you want. And now I want you to write a massive list of why you can't have it.
Because that's a massive part of my job, actually, with property coaching, figuring out why people haven't done it already and getting them to confront those fears. They think they don't have the money, they think they don't have the time, they think they don't have the knowledge. Just understanding where they're at and why they haven't gotten started yet is a major part of me helping people overcome all those objections and why they think they can't invest in property, which I really get a lot of satisfaction out of helping people overcome those challenges.
Yeah. So what I want you to do is write your goals down, write all the reasons why you can't do it. And then when you stop, I want you to go back again and write more. Even if they're stupid reasons, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, right? And then now you've got a list of limiting beliefs.
Interesting.
And all you've got to do...
Is that the first step to overcoming them?
Yes, and then what you do is go to the easiest ones. Rank them from easiest to lowest, right? Because some reasons are going to be really basic and stupid.
Yeah.
Like you can say, I'm too old. And then you go, well, I've got an example of someone that's done it that's older than you.
That's why I can never be a singer, because I'm too old. It's actually true.
Or if you're too young or whatever. But a lot of times it's a limiting belief. And a lot of people have broken them. Let's face it, all around the world.
Yeah.
So then what you do is the easy ones. Let's destroy the easy ones and go through a few logic. Find some examples of why it's not true. And find examples of people that have broken that belief. So there's a lot of examples of people that have broken the limiting belief that you've got. And you can just search for it on Google. And then suddenly, if someone else has done it, you're fine, which is great. Or stuff like that. And that's the way to do it. And then as you do that, as you break your limiting beliefs.
Okay, interesting.
What happens is your comfort zone expands.
Right.
And you become more comfortable with different things. And
you should write a book on how to help people overcome their limiting beliefs.
I think so.
Because a step-by-step guide, I think that would be so useful.
I think I will. I'm going to look at doing that. Good idea.
I'll be the first person to read it.
Okay, awesome. I never thought about it this way, but...
Yeah, that's excellent. Because the way you're really breaking it down and saying, go and Google people who are in your situation who have overcome that limiting belief, just makes sense.
It does, absolutely. And it makes it easier because then you've got proof someone else has done it and suddenly you can say, okay, great.
Then
Easy.
you've got a blueprint
tick
of how to do what you want to achieve and get your goal.
Exactly, because you can see how they did it and that's going to help you do it, which is great. So it's a double whammy. Smart thinking, Christina. You're a genius, you know?
Look, takes one to know one.
Okay, so look, I think we've done it. This is good.
Awesome.
I reckon limiting beliefs will give it a good run, and I think there's a lot for people to be able to work on this. And I'm going to probably get back into it and do a step-by-step program for people.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I will. We'll announce on another podcast. So, what website are we on now? What's that? Starting with P?
Oh, Patreon.
Tell us about Patreon.
So we've recently started a Patreon.
Oh yeah, wait. This is an ad.
Sponsored by Patreon? No. Well, but we really need our Ugly Truth tribe to jump on board and help us out, guys, because this podcast, we want to provide the best value we can to all of you and the best information, but obviously we need the budget to be able to do that. So
all we want to do is get enough money coming in to cover the podcast. We're happy to do it for free.
Absolutely.
We're not here to make money. We're here to share great information, and if we can inspire people or help people or make a positive change in any way, we've done our job.
Absolutely.
And
so check us out at the Ugly Truth podcast on Patreon. Become a supporter.
Yeah, you can start at $1.
That's all it takes, $1.
We haven't got high expectations,
You've probably got it laying in the bottom of your handbag or whatever, or on
your bottom of your PayPal.
or in your car, whatever. Just $1. It's going to help us out a lot, and we'll be so grateful. And
it'd be nice to know that people care and people can, we've got no donations at the moment, but we only
got zero because we just started.
We started this morning, then so no one knows about it, but now you do. But even getting one would be a boost to my
a boost to our supporters.
Self-esteem, right? To know at least someone saying, yep, you're okay. Here's a go. So thank you guys. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
For everyone listening, thank you once again. Stay well and see you next episode.
For awesome info and trending content, go to theuglytruth.log.